We're going to be doing a movie review tonight of a movie that it's not controversial, it's not funny, it's not even interesting, unfortunately. But it's the reason why we have to do this movie is because it's such a religious nutjob story. It's the movie Left Behind with Nicolas Cage. It's a remake of the movie Left Behind from the 2008 or 2001 video from...
2000.
2000? Is it 2000? I thought it was
I'm sorry, 2001.
It was 2001 with Kirk Cameron, the guy that now thinks he's Bible Man, Nick Cage, notwithstanding, the fact is that the guy will take and do any movie because the fact is that he's in financial problems, so he's going to do this movie. So don't expect him to be, interesting or funny in this movie at all. There was one thing about this movie that the Christians, they try to put it in such a light that as soon as everybody started disappearing, all lawlessness starts happening. Now, the things that they put in there that they may not have intended to send this message, but they did anyway, is that you still see people caring for one another. There are people driving ambulances. There are people going to help other people. And there's a scene in there. Now, spoiler alert, the daughter of Nicolas Cage in the movie, she's about to plunge to her death because she doesn't want to deal with it anymore. A phone call comes in, and just as she's about to take that final step, who writes this stuff? This is the worst acting on the way down. My daughter and I are sitting here laughing about this because what if that phone call came in just a second later after she's taken that plunge, like, oh, hello? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm plunging to my death right now. You're going to have to wait until I hit rock bottom. Now, there was one funny scene in this whole movie, and it takes place on the airplane, and that's it. It was a giggle, and that was all there was left to it. As far as Nicolas Cage doing this 180, now preaching God and everything, right towards the end, was just utter stupidity. Let's not just take into the fact that they automatically assume that's what happened. All these people and kids and whatever disappeared, so they automatically assume God did it. They don't even bother looking for any other explanation. What could have been another possibility? There could have been other possibilities. Now, there was people on there that should have, you would have thought they would have been taken away, but they didn't go. Why? But is God this selective? I mean, my goodness. This movie is so poor that even on Rotten Tomatoes, it had a 2% review. 2%. Some of the comments, now these are not my comments. These are professional reviewers, not like we're not professional out here.
Rotten Tomato reviewers.
Rotten Tomato reviewers. Now, one is from Timothy Brayton. He said, a very circumcised, boring thriller that director Vic Armstrong hobbles with a very quiet, non-urgent tone throughout. And there were some other ones here. You have to look at them. Go to RottenTomatoes.com and read the reviews by these people. They are dead on. I mean, for the first 30 minutes, nothing happens. I mean, literally nothing happens. You're trying to set up this whole storyline in 30 minutes.
There's a lot of airport conversation going on.
I've had more interesting conversations in my dreams.
Implications of a steamy affair goes on.
Yeah.
Illegally purchased U2 tickets go down.
Yep.
Family drama goes on.
Family drama. And the lady, the Christian mom in this, she has such a vacuous stare. But honey, I'm just trying to save you.
Do you mean Leah Thompson from
Leah Thompson, yeah, that's her. She's
looking for Calvin Klein.
She had such a vacuous stare. I'm like looking at her, it's like I was afraid to be sucked into the TV because it was her. It's like it was just drawing you in, like a black hole. It's just so vacuous. I mean,
someone needs a drug test, I think.
Yeah, she looked like she was on something. Now there was a scene in there. The daughter gets home. She finally makes her way home, and she hears the shower running, and she's like, "Oh my God, somebody's in my house taking a shower!" And she gets in there, and she finds a necklace and whatever that belonged to her mother on the shower floor. I'm saying, so God takes everybody, including if they're naked, hey, you're looking pretty good in that shower there. I'm just taking you right now. I mean,
when you get to heaven, you get designer robes.
That's right.
You're clothed in God's glory. Whatever that means.
Whatever that means. Joe,
Everybody's dressed like District 1 in the Hunger Games. They all have funny beards and funny haircuts and loud makeup, and they walk around like, yes, how you doing, darling? Yes.
My favorite quote from one of the reviewers here, it said, outlandishly inept in every way. Left Behind is easily one of the worst movies of 2014. Joe, your thoughts?
First things first, Willie Ames played Bible Man, not Kirk Cameron.
Oh, okay.
Bible Man.
Well, he's still Bible Man wannabe, you know. He's sitting up there with Ray Comfort going, oh, bananas, yeah.
There you go,
No,
Banana Man.
I watched the Kirk Cameron Left Behind movie. I was working at a video shop when it came out, and we had one copy, and it didn't rent very well. But I watched it. Like, somebody said to me, like, "Oh yeah, that's one of those kooky James Cameron movies." And so I took it home. I watched it. I was like, "Oh my god!" Because at the end of the movie, the big finale was that the Jews made a deal with Satan to take over the world using the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
It was like every conspiracy theory thrown into one, all because you didn't believe in Jesus.
Right, yeah. Torvey in the chat room said if people would disappear on a plane, I would have think it was the Langoliers. That was a good note. Now, that was a good movie by comparison.
Now, this movie, like the James Cameron movie, started off on an airplane as well, and people disappeared from the airplane. I guess that's like a thing from the book. I never read the book. But in the Nick Cage movie, Nick Cage is actually the pilot, the captain of the airplane.
Yeah.
And some of the passengers disappear when the rapture happens.
Right.
And then the rest of the movie takes place on the airplane. Like in the Kirk Cameron movie, he actually leaves the airplane and goes on an adventure trying to figure out what happened, figures out what happened, and then saves himself. He like prays and goes up to heaven and does whatever. The Nick Cage movie... It's like almost entirely on the airplane. And what is on the ground is mostly Christian end-of-the-world porn.
Yes, it is.
And they seem obsessed with vehicles going out of control and crashing when this happens. Like, if you look at their websites, if you look at their sermons, their videos about this, it's all like you know, bumper stickers. Like, if you see this car without a driver, watch out. It happened, you know.
Yeah, it's snuff porn. It's snuff porn.
It is. It totally is. And the vehicles flying out of control and crashing without a pilot or a driver. Like there was airplane crashes in this.
Yep.
There was school buses falling off bridges. It went through like probably 30 minutes of the movie of just cars and vehicles crashing everywhere.
Yeah. And then she goes to get back, she goes to get in her car, and all of a sudden there's a plane coming out of the air, going to hit right where she's standing.
Yeah. She's like, well, shit, there goes Dad's... Oops.
Dad's car is on.
Dad's
well,
beaver.
But like, let's say it really happened, all right? Let's say it was all true, and people disappeared. All of these vehicles would pretty much crash right away. It wouldn't take a half an hour of vehicles crashing without pilots and drivers.
Right. And you know, that's the other thing about this, as we've pointed out, this is snuff porn. When he's flying back to New York and he sees this other plane coming out of nowhere. It's like, oh, you're in my airspace. They're talking to nobody because there's nobody in the plane or that's in the pilot's thing there. What about all the people who are on the plane there still? They didn't have a choice in the matter. So it's basically what we've already covered. It's a snuff film. I mean, you're killing off people who just because they didn't believe in your Jeebus, then they're gonna die in a horrible, horrible fashion. Or is there some people believe that if you're left behind in the rapture, you don't actually get to die ever. That's part of the myth of it. You don't ever get to die. So no matter what happens to you, you're not going to die. So those people who crash into the ocean there, they're out trying to swim, drowning, coming back to life, swimming back to trying to make their way back to land. I mean,
I doubt they made it. You don't crash in a jetliner from that high up and live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is that's the myth. That's part of the myth that you can't die. You're stuck there because there's no dying in there. So
I didn't know that. I thought you could die. Yeah. It's just I don't know.
No, as far as I remember, I could be wrong, but as far as I remember, that's what what I was always when I was taught when I was a Christian is that after everybody else is taken away, there's no dying.
Shit, that sounds like fun. It's like Groundhog Day.
It is.
Can I school you? Can I school you on what the Bible teaching about the end times is? Then
Yes.
the thing that you
Please.
don't die from is that scorpion sting. It's like
Oh, okay.
there's debate whether the locust with the scorpion tail and the lion's mouth and the human head and the wings. I don't
okay.
know. I forget whether it's a real thing. Hal Lindsey always said that this was a helicopter and it was a chemical thing. And the sting from whatever this is, whether it's a helicopter with a weapon or whether it's an actual creature being released from the pit, is that it would sting you and you would want to die, but you wouldn't die because you would just be in 5 months of torture from the pain of the sting.
Ah, okay.
I said,
it was a long time ago, so.
Neither here nor there. I was born again while reading the book The Late Great Planet Earth in the early 70s. It was, 72, 73. I was like 13 years old. I'm reading this book, and Hal Lindsey goes into a lot of all of these details that Tim LaHaye and his whoever he is, co-writer, why you needed two people to write this crap, I don't know.
I've seen better productions come out of 13-year-olds.
It's, he talked at length about it, and to be quite honest, because I was, because my religious conversion happened reading this kind of stuff, I found myself quite obsessed with it. But I'm not alone, because Joe's exactly right. This is like an addiction for Christians. Why they can't see the absolute ugliness of having the idea that there could be planes up there without pilots and cars without drivers. The death toll would be horrific. You'd have, planes crashing just everywhere. And that's not even touched on in either the first Left Behind movie or the second Left Behind movie or any movie I've ever. That's the other thing. There's at least 32 movies.
Wow.
About the end times. I looked it up.
Poor Connie watched them all in preparation for this.
No, I'd be a babbling idiot if I watched 32. Just, no. I would call in sick. The first and most famous being A Thief in the Night, which actually there's 4 of them. Honestly, the fourth this is kind of irrelevant to say it's utter garbage because they're all kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, and about the first Left Behind movie, do you know it has a higher Rotten Tomato rating than this one with Nicolas Cage? It was 16%, and the Nicolas Cage one is 2%.
Yeah, this is a bad movie. Save your money.
It is, and
Connie, real quick, I don't want to interrupt your thought, but
let's go ahead.
You know what else has a higher Rotten Tomato rating than both of those Left Behind movies? The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, which got 18% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my God.
These
movies are the Antichrist.
We've already got
a Connie.
We've already got a request from Dawkins Dog says we should do Kirk Cameron Saves Christmas.
Oh hell yeah!
We're next month. Well, I'll see if I can find if I can get a hold of that movie. I will definitely we will definitely review that one.
Download it illegally on a torrent, Packard.
Why would I do that? I have connections.
Get a pirate copy.
I don't want to watch a movie about pirates. I want to watch a movie about Kirk Cameron saving Christmas.
He doesn't need He doesn't need an eye patch and a parrot.
Right.
Why would he want to do that?
Right. Exactly. I don't need. Why would I need that?
Steal that shit, yo.
This is
science.
My review.
This movie is. I'll tell you honestly, this movie isn't even worth stealing. I mean,
I felt ripped off. It was stolen.
I was.
Can I just say really quickly? This is my review of the Nicolas Cage movie. It's the exciting movie about a plane landing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's it.
The whole movie is on the airplane. And the big climax was they landed the plane.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they landed the plane. Yay!
The plane taking off was actually a suspenseful scene. Like, they built up the music. He's putting the thruster lever forward. The wheels are lifting off the runway. And I'm just like, yeah, plane's taking off. This happens like thousands of times a day.
Yeah.
He's saying pilots.
And the fact is that the movie set for the airplane, it looked like they did it out of the movie Airplane. I mean, seriously, it was just... It was.
Do you want the autopilot to just inflate?
Right. I was just waiting for that one. I was waiting for it. It's like, bring on the autopilot.
Autopilot got raptured.
How easy is it to get into heaven anyway, I ask.
He's up in heaven right now. He's just like, hey. William Shatner's next to him like, Stryker, get your wheels up.
Stryker, boom! No.
I picked a bad week. Just stop sniffing glue.
It was a bad day for me to actually stop doing any kind of drugs while I watching that movie. I probably should have kept doing them. No, I don't do drugs, so.
But we do it for you.
But we did it for you, yes.
So bring it on. Bring on, Kirk Cameron.
Bring on the Kirk Cameron.
One of my favorite scenes in this movie, though, was at the very beginning. There's a character walking through the airport, and this woman walks up to him, and she's like, do you read the Bible? And he's like, well, probably not as much as you do. And she's like, she starts citing, like, natural disasters, because he's a reporter that covers natural disasters, and she starts citing, like, earthquakes and tsunamis and hurricanes.
Yes.
And she's like, the Bible predicted all of this. It's all predicted. This is coming. And it's like, I immediately thought of the quote that we often use, Jesus is coming in my lifetime, said 1 billion dead Christians.
Yes. And the thing is, when they first started out the video, they did the long shot of the airport, but when they got inside, the first thing you see is a Christian book, and then this person buying some Christian literature. I mean,
she's buying it with reverence, too. She's got this, like, look on her face. She's like, the airport bookstore had the Christian book. I'm going to take it over here to the counter and place it down and whip out my credit card.
I'm not going to have to pay the credit bill because I'm going to be gone.
And you know what's ironic is she didn't get to read that book. She's
don't know that.
She's up in heaven. She's like, yo, I need a refund on that book. I didn't get to read it.
Well, you know what? We don't know that because she probably could have been reading it right in that first half hour because we did lose track of her after the beginning part of the movie.
Right, we don't know if she got raptured or not.
Yeah, we don't know. She most likely did. You know what's really funny is the daughter. She runs into the church, and then there's the preacher there, and he's like, "Oh, well, you got to listen to me." She did say the smart thing. Why should I listen to you when you won't even listen to yourself? I mean, that's. I think that
burn.
Oh yeah, you know that's a common theme in rapture movies is you have a preacher who's been left behind too, and it's to show that there's it's like the no true Scots.
Yeah, exactly.
No true Scotsman. All right.
I was not the right kind of Christian.
Yeah, and not only that, there was certain other religious figures who were present on the plane who got also left behind. Yeah. Which is also
it's sure to include a Muslim.
Yeah. That's just right. To make sure he's like there's this one short guy, he's a
Say it.
He's a little person. He's a little person. And
a height impaired American?
He's a height impaired American. And he's like, we should pray to the Muslim guy is saying we should pray to God, and these two get into a confrontation and say, oh yeah, which God? Your God or my God? It's like obviously it's neither one of them because they both left you there. Obviously. Good grief.
Eventually they're going to make a Left Behind movie where they show Mecca and it's going to be completely populated. Like nobody went anywhere. They're all going to be standing there like, yo, on my phone it says something happened in the rest of the world. Really? What?
Dog in the chair would say, what kind of God wouldn't take a midget? I mean,
you said it.
I'm repeating what he said. I didn't say it. I'm just saying repeating what he said. So now there was another thing in there. There was this old couple that are on there, and the old lady, she's confused. And she's like, "Oh well, my husband, he doesn't know that we're actually there or whatever. She thinks we're at home."
She seemed to have like the onset of dementia.
Right.
Why wouldn't
God take her? Exactly. Why wouldn't God take her?
She was a sinner.
Yeah, because she was a sinner because she had dementia.
She had no clue who Jesus was. She's like, Jesus who?
Jesus who?
Sorry.
He's our gardener, isn't he?
Enjoy that plane crash you're about to get into.
Right.
Say. Oh my goodness.
Dorothy in the chat room said if their body gets taken to heaven, can they shove things into orphans to take with them?
Yo, I thought that too. No joke. Like they showed everybody's like pile of clothes sitting there, and people are grabbing the clothes and going, "Oh my God, Ted, what happened to you?" And like they made sure to show that everybody, even children, were wearing wristwatches.
Yeah.
And it's like, who the hell wears wristwatches anymore?
Right. And you know, when I saw all these clothes,
too, is all the kids are gone.
Yeah.
All the babies,
all the babies, and all the people who had just given birth and everything like that. Yeah.
But the movie starts with a story about the tsunami, and it killed a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like God saved the mother holding on to the tree with her baby in her arms as she watched her other 3 children washed out to sea, and the girl is like, "Why didn't God save the other 3 kids?" And you know, it's like, hello, like he can rapture everybody to heaven, especially the kids,
right?
Except for those 3 kids that got washed out to sea.
Yep. Or save the mother who eventually got killed in the landslide.
Yeah, she got killed the next day in a mudslide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a horrible movie. I could go on and on and on how bad it is, but then it would take up as long as the movie was. So
we should do an MST3K on it.
Oh, wait, that'd be nice. Well, we should definitely do that.
Do I get to be Crow?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'm Tom Servo. Dibs on Servo.
Or Gypsy.
This is a sensation altogether new to me, and quite frankly, I love it.
I love it. It's a long way to Tipperary.
Yes! We must confound Jerry at every turn.
Turn.
Right.
Let me see the instructions. Reach all, I'll die. I even had the line.
Oh, see, we could be watching good movies, but we're not.
I know.
We need to we should review some good movies if we get a chance to here. So
we do it for you.
We do it for you.
Why would we review good movies? There's plenty of religious ones out there.
Yes.
I can't wait for it. There's a new 10 Commandments movie coming up.
Yeah, there is. We will get around to seeing that maybe sometime here in the future.
Yeah, we should review that.
Yeah, absolutely.